Okay, first things first, some shout outs. Can you guys see my screen with all of its many tabs? Okay, so here are our weekly go-getters. Highest volume would be me. Thank you, thank you. It feels weird like saying your own self. Our top recruiter is Sarah Russo with 3 coaches in her account. She is so close to Diamond and really pushing for it for our retreat. Krista Walsh is our highest Success Club earner. So far this month with 16 Success Club points, she freaking just popped out a baby. What the heck? She is killing it. So big shout out to all our top weekly go-getters. Wanted to go over a couple things. First of all, don't forget about the National Wake Up Call every single Monday, because that's where all of these other announcements are also coming from, as well as your coach breaking news at the bottom of your coach back office. If you are earning Success Club in August, you get a Jericho bobblehead, which is super cool. I had Sagi back in the day. Jericho is way cooler than Sagi. So let's get after that. It's limited edition, you guys, and actually kind of cool. They're actually kind of cool. I wish I had like the whole collection. I'm really mad at myself that I didn't save like the 2 that I had. Anyways, 3-day refresh is on sale this month. I believe it's 10% off. I actually just ordered one because I'm going to do it in a couple weeks whenever I'm finished nursing. It would be super cool to get a big group of us to do it together. Collagen is coming to Canada on the 27th. I know that some of you guys were asking about that. Sarah and Ashley and Haley were all asking about that, I believe. And it's on the 27th, coming to Canada. And Recover is $10 off this month. All Recover, all flavors, all packages. Yes. And last but not least, our retreat qualification is coming up. Our deadline is next week, the 22nd. For those of y'all to lock in your spot for our retreat, I shared a picture in our thread today of a little snapshot of the house. It's going to be super awesome. It's in a community that has like a resort pool. I'm super excited. It's this huge house. It's going to sleep like all of us. And just going to be super awesome. So be pushing for that. Diamonds get to come a day early. Everybody else comes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we have until next week, a week from today. So this is totally doable. 4 coaches, be on that level up board and have Success Club activity 3 out of the 4 months, you guys. We have set the bar pretty low for this retreat because we want as many of you to come as possible. We want this to be about community. So, okay. Now we get to hear from Dylan. Dylan, I feel like I didn't even get any of your credentials or anything. Dylan is like the next Emily Favre. I told her that today. She is popping diamonds. Her team is on fire. And she really does remind me of Emily Favre. If any of you know who that is, she shared her story like last summit where she went from just a diamond to a 15-star in the first 6 months of 2018. She just kind of rallied and said, hey, you guys, I want to do this. And her team was like, yeah, well, let's all do it together. And that really reminds me of Dylan's team. They have such a community on their team and a fire, and they are moving forward, and it is so cool to watch. She's an incredible leader, just left her job. She's not going back to teaching. She is staying at home, and she is currently in the top 100 of all coaches in our network. I don't know what exactly you're ranked, Dylan, like 50-something, 58?
We dropped to 80 now.
Okay, still holding strong in the top 100, and she's just got so much good stuff. And I know she's going to share some of it tonight with us. So, Dylan, Go for it.
Yay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen because if I don't have something to share like that, then I'm all over the place. So I need direction. So let me share this. Okay, so she just named some of these things, but I've been doing this for 3 years. I signed up June 30th, 2016, so just over 3 years. I've got 2 babies, almost 9-month-old, and then a 20-month-old. My husband is a PE coach. I taught for 6 years and then just brought myself home, like she said. We are number 80 right now. We were a premier team last year, and our goal is big time elite for this year. And all those things are awesome, and I love sharing those things. It's like, I don't know, it's very humbling for me to be able to say that stuff out loud. But I did also want to share that while all of these things have been going on, we have had those times where every single one of you, I'm sure, is either going through a harder time or has had a harder time since you started this business. But during that time, since I started coaching, we also were going through infertility struggles. We were going to fertility specialists and treatments. I had 2 high-risk pregnancies, was on bed rest with both of them. During that time, my mom also got diagnosed with breast cancer, went through chemo and radiation. I had 2 C-sections in less than a year, and then all that time I was also teaching full-time. So any of those excuses that pop up, I just want you to know that you don't have to limit yourself because this thing is going on. If anything, I really want you guys to change your mindset about this business. Like, yes, it is a business, but use it as a positive outlet. Like, this is something that you guys have control over in a really cool way. I heard this quote the other day and I'm obsessed with it now, but if you don't like it, change it. And if you can't change it, then change the way you think about it. And I think that's a really cool aspect when we dive into what we do as coaches, because it's your business. Like, you don't have a boss. Yes, MK is like your mentor and your leader that gives you guidance and helps you with things, but ultimately, you guys, you are your boss in this. So with that, if there's something that you want to change, or there's something about your life circumstances right now where you're like, I would really like to hit diamond, but I just feel like this is happening. Or I really wish that I could be elite or premier, or you've got these other goals. I want to stay home full time. Don't be afraid to set those goals and don't limit yourself because of your life circumstances. Like, hard stuff's going to happen. It's almost like we tell people who are scared to even join into the coaching opportunity, like, well, now it's not a good time because this is going on, or I just don't know about it right now because of X, Y, or Z. But it's the same thing with this. Like, your life is always going to be happening. So stop being afraid to set those goals because of what's going to happen. And what I want you guys to focus on now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about, is just controlling the controllable. So what are those things within your business and your day-to-day life that you guys do have control over in order to just take this and take it to the next level? You'll hear, I mean, any call that I get on, I pretty much always talk about vision because it's like my jam. But if you're in this business and you don't have a vision for these 3 aspects of your life, then I do challenge you right now to like whip out your phone and type them or write it on a piece of paper. But I want you to think of those 3 goals that you have. One that's for your family or your life, one that's for your health and wellness, and then one that's for your business. Now, with that, you need to be thinking about one thing every single day that you're doing to get yourself to those goals. If your business goal is to hit 2-star by the end of the year, then what do you need to be doing every single day that's your non-negotiable? Do you need to be sending out those invites? You need to be sharing on social media. If your goal is to stay home with your family full time, what do you need to be doing every single day to get yourself there? Reverse engineer it. Where do you need to be by the time that your goal hits? So with your vision, what does it take to get there? Hint, hint. It just making that decision every single day to follow through with that vision. Be disciplined enough to choose that hard over and over again. For myself, I know that I have big goals in this business, and in order for me to actually sit down and have that time to work, I have to get up early in the morning. And yes, when my alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, it sucks and my bed is super comfortable and I don't want to get up. But having that vision for myself, like I literally have it typed out on my 50 alarms that I have set for like 3-minute increments, which is annoying as anything for Trent. But I've got that vision written down so that when I'm getting up in the morning and those excuses start popping in my head, or I was up a little bit too late last night, seeing that reminder on my phone, like for my alarm, immediately gets me up. And also having that discipline. Years ago, like a couple years ago, I got on a training call and I remember talking about motivation versus discipline. And my husband had this podcast on and I hated it at the time, like listening to it. I was like, I hate this. I don't even want to listen to this anymore. But basically the premise was how he was talking about motivation is not a real thing, or it's not a lasting thing. And to me, I was like, no, but I'm motivated to do things. But the whole point of it is, yes, you might be motivated today and tomorrow and the next day, but that motivation does fade. On day 5, when you've already been getting up at 4:30 for those other 4 mornings, and you feel like you've done enough work for the week, and maybe you just hit Success Club and you're like, okay, cool, that's it, I'm done now. Then it's very easy to just stop and say, yeah, but I already did this. Like, I'm good for the rest of the month. No, you have to stay disciplined with it and keep going. If you spend the first 4 days of the month hustling, and then all of a sudden the rest of the month you're like coasting, cool, I already hit it, that's not a sustainable business. And that sounds like it sucks, but it's so true. Like, you have to be disciplined doing this every single day. Or if you don't want to treat it like a business, or you don't have big goals for this, then don't do that. And that's okay. But if this is something that you guys want to build up and make it big time with, and you have big visions for yourself and you have those goals, then you have to be disciplined and do it, even when it's hard. I remember Micah saying on a call before that you have to make it like brushing your teeth. And I tell my girls that all the time. Like, if you get sick, are you still going to brush your teeth? Hopefully, yes. If you're running late for work, are you still going to brush your teeth? Yes. All those situations, like if your dog gets sick, or I'm thought of really morbid examples, so I'm not going to use those, but like if something terrible happens, you're still going to brush your teeth every single day. So you need to make this business like that. Just because you're the boss and that you make the rules for yourself and you set those visions and goals for yourself, that means that you have to be even more disciplined because you're the one that's in charge. So what does that look like in this business? Number 1, committing to your journey. If you are not, I'm not just saying doing the morning meltdown workouts. If you are not committed to a program, that means the nutrition, committed to the actual program itself. It doesn't mean you have to be like perfect on everything, but if you're not committed to it and doing your best with it, then you need to reset and rethink that, because that's the number 1 thing that also builds belief in yourself. If you're not fully doing the things and getting results with it, then your belief in the business and in the actual workouts and in the nutrition plan starts to fade. So you need to make sure you're keeping that excitement up within yourself and filling your cup up first, and making sure you're doing those things and committed to your own journey. And other people feel that. Like, it's the weirdest thing, but other people really do feed off of that vibe. So you have to make sure that you are committed to your journey, that you're sharing every single day. That doesn't mean you're getting on social media and just posting about your workout or just posting about your nutrition. That means that you're sharing every single day all the things that are happening. I heard a call. We had a speaker on our call a couple weeks ago, Keisha Fitzgerald. I don't know if you guys listen to her podcast, but she's big in Beachbody too. But she came on and she was talking about the net that you're casting. So a lot of times, like when you guys are pushing for a goal, like you're pushing to get on this retreat, a lot of times it's very natural for us to cast a super wide net. So we're like, no, anybody that wants to join in with me, I'm talking to every single one of you. Like, let's all do this together. And you're not really zoning in on those people that are your people to do this with you. So what I do challenge you to do as far as what you're sharing is I want you to think of 2 different people. I want you to think of the person that you were before you started Beachbody, the things that you were struggling with, the things mentally that you were constantly thinking about, the life station, like the season that you're in. Think about those things, and then think about the you right now. And those are the 2 people that you need to be speaking to. As far as challenge groups go, those are the people I zone in on more so where I was before, because those are the people that most benefit from, not that nobody would benefit, but those are the people that need these programs and need this guidance the most. And the people that are where I am right now, those are the people that would be perfect to join my team, because I know where they're at, I know the season that they're in, and I know that we can work together and we probably have similar goals. So think about that as far as when you're sharing. So like when you guys are sharing on social media, you need to be telling a story to either of those people, not to every single person. You're not a walking advertisement. You're building up and you're pretty much selling yourself, which I mean that in the least like prostitute way possible. But like you guys, people can go buy Beachbody on Amazon, or they could buy it just on the website by themselves and not be in a group. So why should they be in your group? Why should they be on your team? That's the story that you guys need to be sharing every single day. And if you shared it yesterday and you're like, yeah, but I just talked about that yesterday. Like I talked about where I was before. It's probably overkill to talk about it again today. No, people need to see that, and they need to see it over and over again. And they need to hear the struggles you're going through now. And they need to see not just the struggles you're going through, but the positive steps that you're taking to overcome those struggles. Or if you're not able to change those struggles, then what are you doing to change your mindset around them and control the controllable? So just make sure that you're sharing every single day. Getting your work done every single day. We just talked about that a second ago, but basically make it like brushing your teeth. If you're not sending out invites, you're probably not going to have a lot of people joining in with you. I know that a lot of times we want to think that if I just share and say like, hey guys, I've got a group coming up. It's going to be awesome. You can win this. You can do this. Like, here's all the fantastic things about it, that the whole wide world is going to be like, oh my God, yes, Dylan, I totally want to join that. That sounds awesome. I would love that. And I do have more people now reach out to me than I did before. But if I have big goals, I'm not just going to limit myself to the people that are coming to me. If you guys were having a party, and I've told my girls this analogy so many times, but if you were having a party and you put a sign out in your front yard and said, guys, I'm having a party this weekend. It's going to be amazing. Like, huge pool party. You can win $1 million. Your favorite band is going to be there. You get free stuff. Like, you can make it sound as amazing as possible. And any of your neighbors that drive by it still probably aren't going to come. And they're probably not going to come because you didn't actually invite them. Yes, they saw that sign in your yard. Yes, they saw that post and they saw that story, but it doesn't mean they're going to come to your party. Like, they may show up and be like, I don't know if I was actually invited. Like, I saw the sign, but I'm not sure. You have to give them an actual invitation. So instead of just putting that sign in your yard, you need to go to all of those mailboxes and you need to say, hey, Kirsten, you're invited. Hey, MK, you're invited. Hey, Leanne, those are the people I can see right here. Kirsten, hopefully that's like Kirsten. But you need to go put those invitations in those people's mailboxes and let them know that they are personally invited. And yes, Leanne may say, sorry, Dylan, I've already got plans this weekend. I kind of hate pools, but thanks anyways. Have fun at your party. Fine. That's totally fine. The next time, like next month when I have another party, I'm going to invite Leanne again. And I'm going to say, hey, Leanne, I know last month, you didn't really want to come. You had your own stuff going on, but I've got another pool party coming up. Do you have any interest in hopping in and joining in with me? Like, would you want to come to this party? Yes, she might say no all over again, and that's fine. We're leaving it on a positive note. If she ever wants to come again, she's more than welcome. And every month I'll probably still reach out and say like, hey, there's another one. If you're ready, let me know. I may send her like an awkward GIF and just say, are you ready? But you need to not be afraid to actually invite those people. That's part of your work every single day. And I think that's one that kind of gets overlooked in our business every day, is because we do all the other things. And that's one that like we kind of put in the back burner because it's a harder one mentally for a lot of people to get over. And then just make sure you're doing the things that work. So we kind of just talked about that, but making sure that you're really diving into those things that you see working for yourself and for other people. If MK is telling you that something is working and this is what you should do, I would listen to it and like take that in. If you guys get guest speakers coming in, or you get, I'm not a top coach, but if you get top coaches coming in, or you're listening to the National Wake Up Call, soak that stuff in and actually utilize those things. And then my last thing is just to evaluate yourself honestly. This was something I did back in December. I had just had my son in November, so I had a 1-year-old, like a brand new 12-month-old, and then a newborn. And I knew I was going to be staying at home. Like, being there with both of them right then, I was like, no, I'm going to be staying home next year. Like, there's no way I'm going to be going back and working like this. And I had to evaluate myself because I was like, what I'm doing right now, I'm just not sure if it's going to get me to where I need to be. And you guys, like I said before, you are your own boss, which is really cool, but it also can be kind of a downfall to this, because it's hard sometimes when you don't have someone constantly asking you to do things or requiring things of you like that. So you have to make sure that you're actually being your own boss, and that you are doing at least monthly evaluations of where you're at, if not like bi-weekly. So evaluate yourself honestly. It doesn't mean that you're throwing judgment down on yourself or like disciplining yourself, but evaluate what you've been doing and what you've been doing that's working, and that's amazing. But also look at the things that, like, what could I be doing better? How could I level up where I am right now and improve? So is the work that you put in every single day, like think about your last 2 weeks. Is the work that you've done every day for the last 2 weeks, is that going to get you to your huge vision? Would you look at what you've done the past 2 weeks and pay yourself a 6-figure salary or a 7-figure salary? And if your answer is no, then why not? Like, what can you improve upon and what can you do better to level up and get yourself to that point? So control those controllable things and really dive into it. Because I promise you guys, like, it's all in your hands. The only thing that's going to stop you is yourself. Like, that's the only thing that's going to limit you, is the things that you're doing or not doing. So that's basically my whole spiel. Hopefully that's helpful or lights some kind of fire. So
I love that. What? Sorry.
Oh no, I was trying to read the chat. Morning meltdown. Nice Friday. I don't feel successful after I finish.
Basically, well, that's a good question. I mean, hold on. I'll ask that question in a minute because it's a little bit off topic of what you kind of shared, but like totally perfect for, you know, our upcoming retreat qualification or just end of the year goals. A lot of you guys know that Team Heartstrong, Team Find Your Fire, and Team Inspire to Balance are all, you know, pushing for a goal together for all 3 teams, for all of us to go elite at the same time, which is so cool. And you guys know that we've kind of explained it, and it's got nothing to do with the leaders of our team. Like, I can't make it happen. Krista can't make it happen. Holly can't make it happen. It's all of us together. It really, truly is. And I love what you said about being disciplined. Like, even on the days where you just don't freaking feel like it, you show up anyways. And I tell you guys that all the time. I always say, like, you know, the work that you're putting in today counts for next month, right? My goal is always hit Success Club 5 by the 5th every month. And then if I took my foot off the gas, there's 0 chance that it would happen the next month by the 5th, right? Because you can't take your foot off the gas and expect to keep going. So I love what you said, Dylan, about just like, you don't always feel like it, especially once you hit a goal. And I feel like a lot of us go in and out of rank. Maybe we make it to Emerald and then we take our foot off the gas, or maybe we make it to Diamond and then we're like, whew, made my goal. And then you stop. Like, why? And how many times have we seen it on our team, or have you seen it personally in your business, where you hit that rank, you hit that goal, you hit that whatever, you take your foot off the gas, and you're definitely not there anymore, right? Or you had to climb your way back up there. And we just see it. It's over and over and over in our business, but we have got to be disciplined and show up even when it's hard. You got to brush your teeth, even when you're sick. And then, Dylan, I am going to ask kind of like what Cinda was asking, or not, she wasn't asking, she was just saying that she doesn't feel like she's successful after she finishes the morning meltdown workout. What advice would you give to someone who, you know, during these launches, as we have these new launches, what advice would you give to someone who, like, this just is not their jam? It's not making them excited. Not just like, oh, I just don't really feel like doing this. I mean, like, you're just dreading working out in the morning. You just can't stand it. You don't want to talk about it. It's kind of making you not want to work out at all.
Yeah, so I would think again back to like your 2 people that you're talking to. So like, Sindel, I know you're struggling because you're not enjoying it. So think back to before you even started working out. Like, this is definitely something that a lot of my girls who are doing it that are obsessed with it right now are ones who haven't done a lot of other workouts. Like, they needed something different. They needed something short and quick. So speaking to those people can help. Like, for myself, I also run, and like going into the fall is always like my training season for halves, and I'm not going to do a marathon this year, but like, it is my longer runs. Like, I love doing that. So I've got a couple of days a week where I'm still running. And for me, I've got a lot of girls on my team or a lot of my challengers who are in that same boat. So like, I gave them the like doubled up workout calendar, and they've got a couple of days worked in where they're going to be running. And it's the same days that I'll be running. So you can take that and then fix into like who your people are. Like, how can you make it better for yourself? And if you 100% like just can't make it better for yourself, and you're like, I'm just going to hate all 100 workouts of these, then change something. Just because every other person is doing Morning Meltdown 100 doesn't mean that you have to do it. Like, yes, it's a big launch, and yes, 90% of people I think are loving it, but it doesn't mean that you have to like conform and do it with everybody else. Like, you can be very honest about that, and you can just kind of revamp and re-energize and tell other people like, hey, so I started with this program. I know there's a lot of girls that are loving it. I need to change for myself just because I'm what X, Y, and Z. Like, I just need to be doing something different, and explain that to people and use that as a launching pad, and just be like, if you're like me and you need something more like this, then let's get together and let's do this group. And I'll still support people who want to do this program, but here's what I'm going to be doing. So just making sure that you're not just like shutting off anybody that's actually doing the program, but explaining it in that way, not just like, I hate this, I'm not feeling it, like I'm just struggling with it. Just saying like, here's what I need right now, and here's what I'm maybe like looking to get. So for right now, I'm taking a break from Morning Meltdown. Like, if you still want to do this program, let me know, but here's what I'm going to be doing. And then invite people to just hop in with that and just be very specific about it. Like, here's what I like, here's what I need, here's what my goals are for my workouts, and just explain it that way and invite people in that way. Or that's what I do. Hopefully that
one thing that I was going to say, I do feel like a lot of times we look at a program like this and, oh, it's only 20 minutes. It's not going to be hard enough for me. So something that I've been doing is stacking any of the lower impact ones. For those of you that want to stack things, or you want to be done by the end of September because the work comes out. So I've been stacking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm doing 2 workouts. So I do cardio with upbeat, right? Like, cardio is really intense. Upbeat is intense, but only in weights. It's not jumping around. Tuesday, I do total body, bad butt, and core. And those go together because like core is pretty low impact. And then Wednesday is lit cardio, which is freaking nuts in phase 2. FYI, I wanted to die and it was only 20 minutes. And then revive. So, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I only do 1 workout because those ones are harder for me. And Sunday is revive. Okay, so sorry. Wednesday is freestyle flow and lit cardio. But anyway, you can stack to where I didn't want a day in the middle of my week on a Wednesday to be freestyle flow, and that was the only workout I got. I would hate my life if I had 3 like lower impact days every 10 days. Like, I need more than that. So that's kind of how I've stacked. So kind of figure out how you can make this program harder. Is it going off the beat? Is it too fast for you? Slow down, go off the beat. Is it too slow for you? Go faster, go off the beat. Do whatever you need to do to make this workout the challenge that you need. And don't just, and this is not to Sindel at all. This is just to people, any of you in general who are feeling this way about Morning Meltdown or any program in the future. Really make sure that you're like, no, I don't want to do this. I really don't like this, rather than just like, I don't feel like it, right? Like, this is a huge launch. Not every launch is going to be for everybody. The last thing in the world you want is to be doing something that doesn't make you excited, because your business will plummet. But you also don't want to make excuses for yourself either. People always want to do what I'm doing, right? So if I'm doing Transform 20, they're not going to be like, yeah, I think I want to do Lift 4. Like, no, they want to do what I'm doing. There's always exceptions, you know that. But I just find the good things about the program, talk about those. But if you really can't do any of the programs, you have to do something that's going to keep your business going and your mental health going, right? Okay.
But if you change, I would make sure that you commit to whatever that next thing is that you're going to do. So you're not just like jumping around, but even explaining that like, this is the beauty of this is that genuinely 100%, if you like can't do all those things, like you're stacking up's not working, taking your own beat, making it harder for yourself isn't working, then explain it in that way. Like, here's the beauty of what I do in these programs is that if I decide I need something different or my body is just telling me it wants something different, I can change it up and maybe come back to this program later too.
Praise God I was pregnant during 80-day obsession, because that would have been me.
I got pregnant. I was postpartum and got pregnant doing it. So I finished it, like I started it 6 weeks postpartum and I finished it like 13 weeks pregnant. So 14 weeks.
That's a story for another day, everyone. You can do that.
I saw a question. I'm curious about business hours and what you get done in that time, because I need to get faster, 4:30 to when, and then some in the evening nap time. So what's your strict bed time if you're starting that early? Ooh, for me, my kids, Baker goes to bed at 6, Raleigh goes to bed at 6:30, Baker gets up at 6:30, and Raleigh gets up at 7. I need to be getting up at 4:30 again because I was killing it while I was teaching, because I was getting up at 4:30 because that's the only time I could work. But right now, like I get up at 5. I do all my invites in the morning. Like if nothing else, like I will not start my workout till I've gotten my invites done, because that's my biggest income producing activity is my invites. I know I'll still get my workout done even if the kids are up, but I won't be on my phone if the kids are up. Like I may take quick stories of them, but I'm not going to be on my phone while they're up. So I do all my invites before I do my workout. And if I have more time, like all my challenge group posts are scheduled, all that kind of stuff. So if I have more time, then I do all those other little things like responding to messages, but I don't answer any of my messages that are new on my phone or any of that until after I've done my invites. Like I have to do all of that first. And if time's up and I need to go work out or the kids are waking up, then I just stop. And all those people that are sitting there in my inbox can just wait. And then during nap time, usually that's what I go straight into is, okay, now I'm getting back to all these messages. And a lot of times those invites that I've sent, I've got responses from them too during nap time. So that's just kind of my flow that works. And then a lot of times I don't really work during the night. Like once my kids go to bed, then it's like time for me and my husband. And unless I have a call or something, then I'm not really getting on and working. Like maybe if my inbox is just like flooded with messages or something, then maybe I'll tell Trent like, okay, I just need 20 minutes and I'll answer as many messages as I can. And when 20 minutes is up, I'm done. But definitely unplugging. And I want to answer more, but I have to hop off and do my Emerald University now. But if you guys have more questions, I'm like an open book, so you can always message me or ask away. Like I'm happy to help with anything. So you can always just let me know. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yes, thank you, Dylan. There actually are no more questions that I can see. So thank you so much for hopping on.
You're welcome. You guys have a fabulous night.
Okay, wait. Carolyn has a question. Should we be shooting for a certain number of invites a day, a week? I think this is totally dependent on you and what kind of coach you want to be, right? We usually say like 3 to 5 invites a day, but that's just going to move the needle barely in your business. I personally set weekly invite goals for myself and then break that down over the day. And some days I'll send like 40 or 50 invites, and the next day I might have only sent 10. But as long as I'm hitting that weekly goal and doing them every day, like Dylan said, that's the same. I've started sending invites first thing in the morning. Right after I do my Bible study comes first for me, and then I do invites. Because it makes my day feel so much more. I've already done like a business producing activity. I already feel like I'm ready to own the day because I did one of the hardest parts. And so it depends on how fast you're wanting to build your business. I think that's kind of like the main thing that I would say. It depends on how fast you want to build your business. And then also everybody has a ratio. I talk about this all the time. My ratio might be different than yours. For every 10 invites I send out, maybe one person will sign up. So if I want 10 people in my challenge group, I've got to send out 100 invites, right? That would actually be a good ratio. I wish every 10 invites that I sent out, one person signed up, but that's not the case. So you can kind of work backwards from that, right? Like, take an average, like every 20 invites you send, how many people signed up? And then you can figure out how many people you want in your group, like what, and you can kind of, backwards work that. Haley, out of curiosity, you're wanting to hustle this. How do you get out 40 invites a day? Do you invite before creating a connection? Yes and no. I never send cold invites. As in, like, I just started following you and then I send you an invite. I do send invites to people watching my story from the day before. So like when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going to go to my workout posts, my stories, my workout stories, and I'll look at who was watching them, and I will invite anyone who is watching them. And I'll just say, like, hey, Haley, I saw that you were watching my stories about this new program that I'm doing. I'm absolutely loving it. Were you interested in doing it with us? I have phase 2 starting, like a second wave starting this weekend. I'd love to send you a promo code for $10 off. Let me know if you're interested. Or are you interested? Always end with a question. So like anything like that, those are people already watching my stories, and I don't consider that cold. I consider like we're already connected because they're watching my stories. So anyone that's liked my posts, anyone that's new following me, anyone that's watching my stories, that's how I personally invite. Kirsten, about how many new people do you follow each day? Again, I set weekly goals for myself. I like at least 100 a week at the very least. And if you guys have not been on a live work session before, you need to. I answer a lot of these questions and show you how I add people, or like tips on how to add people. So definitely go watch the recording of that. I see, I'm just different. All of our business trackers will say, add 10 people, but I go down a rabbit hole. And once I'm down the rabbit hole, it's really hard for me to get out. So I might add like 40 people one day because I'm so far in this rabbit hole, and I'm just like, I'm on a roll, or I'll take 10 minutes and I'll be like, I'm going to follow as many new people as I can, follow. And I might hit like 75 people. So it just kind of depends. I set a weekly goal. My goal for myself, like weekly, is more like 250. So break that down. But I mean, like, you guys could follow 250 people over today and tomorrow. It doesn't mean I'm connecting with that many people. It means I'm literally just follow. And it depends. It'll make more sense if you watch the live work call. Where I talk about there's 2 different ways of following people, just mass following, or following them, commenting on their posts, liking some of their pictures, following the next person, commenting, liking, yada, yada. Okay. Yeah. So Sarah says she follows a lot, doesn't connect with anyone. I don't write down the people that I follow. It was a huge time suck for me. And I was going back to like building engagement. I literally just follow people, and whoever follows me back, those are the people that I'm right away sending messages to. Maybe not right away, but I'm sending them a message in 24 hours. So I kind of alternate back and forth between just like mass following a bunch of people, and then like the next day I'll be like, okay, I'm going to follow with more intention, and I'll follow Leanne and like 3 of her pictures and comment on one and go to the next person. That's obviously slower. I'm not going to hit high numbers that day, but you kind of have to figure out what works for you and what's going to get you the more eyes on your page. Okay. Well, thanks for hopping on, you guys. And I'm